Right, so here we go. Welcome. Welcome. I am Nancy from Nancy Inspired, and if you are new here, I have a gift that I call soul telepathy. I am able to hear what your soul is trying to tell you for your highest and best good. When I do individual readings, it's just about you, but when I do this on a live like this, Insight Timer, it's about what is the collective messaging for everybody? What is the important messaging for everyone to hear? First part of the live is collective for everybody, and second part of the live is some individuals. If you want to put your name in, don't put your name in yet because it'll get lost in the chat. But when I'm ready, I'll let you know, and you can put your name in. All right. So I do record this for I put up on another platform, just the first part. I don't record the individual stuff. So now I'm going to just say hello to everybody. So hello, Melinda. Hello, Alicia. Carolina and Johnny, wonderful, Paula, Kate, Marika, Jamie, Kath, Carol, Natasha, and Jay, wonderful. Welcome, everybody. All right, let's see. And actually, there's a few of you, Debbie, Marina, Michelle, Trisha, Nadine, that I missed from last week. So, hello, Manucha. Sorry, I took a bit of a slurp. Very, very lemony. More lemony than I was expecting. It is ginger and fresh squeezed lemon and lemongrass and a bit of honey. But excuse me, the lemon was a little overpowering for a moment there. All right. Here we go. We're going to start by asking if I can connect to all of you. So can I, may I, and shall I do a reading for my Insight Timer friends and family, both those that are listening now and those that tune in later? I'm getting a very clear yes. Wow, it's like lots of energy. Is there any reason why I shouldn't at this moment in time? I can already feel it shifting, but because it was moving so heavy, it's got to take its time to turn. There we go. So I'm just going to ask that we cleanse, clear, and balance the space so that anything that does not belong here gets sent along to the feet of God, so that only what is helpful and for everyone's highest and best good is allowed to stay. Create a bubble of protection, the container. Perfect. Then I'm going to ask that everybody's intuition be raised to the highest level that they can accommodate with at this moment in time. Allow their souls to speak freely and clearly for everyone's highest and best good. All right. A little sip of water. That lemon was delicious, but I wasn't quite expecting it to be as lemony. But all right, here we go. What are we here for? That's just here for collective messaging. What do I hear? It's like there's so many messages going on at once. It's like, okay, let's just choose one. What is the most important thing that I need to hear right now? It feels really noisy today. Interesting. It's got like this almost like staticky feeling to it. So I'm just going to clear whatever that is. I'm just going to clear whatever the interference is that's making it feel a little staticky, and allow me to hear clearly what's going on. There we go. I'm just going to... All right. Okay. What a cool image I just got. All right. So what I got is that there's a lot of static in your connection as well, Julie. Is it like, it feels energetic to me because everything else feels the same. There's no difference in sound or whatever, but it's just like this, there's like a hum. It's like, it's kind of going on energetically. I don't know what that is. So I'm just kind of consciously clearing it away, pushing it aside. It just feels like interference somehow, but it's mostly clear now. It's still there a little bit, but it's mostly clear. Okay, so the image that I got was like of an eye, like an eyeball. And the iris was moving to let in light or closing to, if it's really bright, your iris will close. If it's dim, your iris will open to try and let in more light. what I'm hearing is that what we look at, what we observe, and how we see affects the amount of light we're letting in. So just like our iris, when it opens up wide, we're letting in more light, allows us to see in dark places. Iris closes small when it's bright light, protects our eye. I don't know the exact science behind it, but that's what I learned probably in grade 6 biology. But what I'm hearing is that what we see, what we allow in, and what we focus on, what we allow our eyes to take in, directly affects the amount of light that we are internalizing or that we are accessing. Now, what I'm hearing on that is that it's important for us to stay informed and whatnot. But endlessly scrolling on negative things, negative news, lower vibrational energy stuff, is like our irises getting small and not letting in the light. By allowing ourselves to be connected to and seeing nature, friends, other people, things that we're connecting to that kind of create a higher vibrational energy, being here, what you're seeing, allows for more light to be let in. And what I'm hearing is that it's metaphoric, but it's literal as well. So what we are paying attention to, what we are looking at, what we are seeing has a direct effect on the light we're letting in. And now the light is that energetic light, that love, that divine connection. So, sorry, I'm still dealing with the lemon. If we're allowing ourselves to be overwhelmed with negative imagery, if we are allowing ourselves to only see the negative in things or the lower vibrational stuff, all of that has a purpose. To keep us informed, to let us know what's going on, to educate, to even entertain in some ways, right? Not saying that those things are entertaining, but like when people watch shows or whatever that are scary or have that violence or something. So there's a time and a place for it, but it has a direct impact on the light that we're letting in. And so if you are watching, like for a little while there, when I was involved in the strike and there was all these things going on and it was really stressful, I found myself on social media a lot because I was wanting to know what was going on. So I was tuned in to social media, and as a result, I saw all the things, and I realized that it had a direct impact on my vibrational energy. Yes, I was informed, but it had a direct impact on my vibrational energy. So what I'm hearing is you need to create a balance. Just like if you have very enlarged pupils in a bright light, it's probably going to hurt your eyes. It's probably going to give you a headache. If you have very small pupils in a dark light, you're not going to be able to see much. So it's about maintaining a balance. If you have spent some time engrossed in things that are lower vibrational energy and you've been looking at them, taking them in, then make sure that you balance that out with higher vibrational energy things. Beautiful art, nature. I just heard children playing, like whatever, like things that are that higher vibrational energy. What I'm hearing is that this also applies to people in their work. If your work involves lower vibrational energy interactions, there's a lot of lines of work that would deal with that lower vibrational energy. If your work involves that you are dealing with that lower vibrational energy on a daily basis, it is exceptionally important, what I'm hearing, is that we balance that out with higher vibrational surroundings. And that may even be something as simple as maybe you have a sticker in your car that is like, good vibes only or whatever. That's something that you're taking in. Maybe it's a house plant. Maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's a tree outside your window. Maybe it's actually going for a little walk before, as you end your day, rather than bringing all of that lower vibrational energy home, go for a quick walk. Even if, weather doesn't permit, perhaps you park by the trees. I will find myself doing this sometimes. And now that I'm hearing this message, I'm going to do it more consciously. But sometimes when I've had a particularly lower vibrational day at work, I will stop. We've got a beautiful little forest ravine not very far from my house. I will purposely stop and just park by the trees and just park there for a little bit and just absorb the energy of the trees, just look at the trees, look at the sky, look at the grass, and then I'll go home. And I hope what's happening is that I'm kind of removing some of that lower vibrational energy from my day before I bring it home. But I'm hearing that if your line of work involves that lower vibrational energy, please make sure that you are also viewing things, immersing yourself in things that are higher vibrational energy. What I just heard is that if you are not able to do that while you're at work, let's say, and you're in that process, that you can also take a 1-minute vacation. You can actually just pause for a minute and just visualize, if you can, a nature scenery. And if you can't visualize, feel it. What does it feel like to stand outside in nature? I know a lot of people can't visualize. It's kind of a journey I've been on recently, learning about that. And a lot of people struggle with actual visualization, especially children. Children now are struggling more and more with actual, being able to picture things in their minds. So connect to the feeling of it. What does it feel like to stand outside? What does it feel like to have the wind on your face? What does it feel like to have your heart immersed in nature for a little bit? And what I'm hearing is just close your eyes and even give yourself a 1-minute vacation. I also just got reminded one thing. I did this a couple weeks ago. I was having a particular kind of challenging day at work, dealing with some high energy parents, we'll say. There was some high energy parents. I thought I need to clear my perception here. And so I actually, on my screensaver, I have 2 screens at work, and on my screen, I actually put up, just went on YouTube and got a video that had nature and trees and whatnot. And I just had it playing on the other screen. And that right away just made my whole, elevated my vibration and calmed the nervous system. So I'm hearing that we need to be aware of what we are taking in. Like someone, I think I saw it in the chat, said the aperture in photography, right? How much you're taking in and how much light you're allowing in versus not allowing in. And to be aware that we all have our work to do. We all have things that we do. And some of that is lower vibrational energy work. And so it's important that you find things to look at, interact with, be with, that have that higher vibrational energy as well. I really like that. I'm going to take 2 seconds and just close my door. Now that the cats have decided to leave, we'll keep them there. All right, let me just hear. Is that everything I hear on that? All right. All right, next bit of messaging. That was a much better sip. It's my own concoction of ginger, lemongrass, fresh squeezed lemon, and honey, and it's delicious. But I'm working on the amounts of each thing. Okay. All right. So this is the next little bit of messaging that I got. So I had an image of braiding my hair, right? And I often, to be honest, when I don't feel like doing my hair, I will wear my hair in a braid. And recently I was given some teaching from an Indigenous friend of mine, was talking about the braids as being an integration of mind, body, and spirit. So just now, as I was asking for the next bit of messaging, that's what I was hearing is the braid, mind, body, and spirit, but also how it relates to what we were just talking about. And that was bringing like what you're observing, what you're doing. We have to make sure that we are in a balance, our minds, bodies, and spirits, and how we are taking care of things. What I am hearing and how this directly reflects is what I'm hearing is that we tend to overstimulate or understimulate the mind. We tend to focus on the mind. So what are we thinking about? What are we talking about? That kind of stuff. And what I'm hearing is that we tend to be, as people, either way overstimulated in terms of like what we're taking in, you know, or what we're engaging with, or overthinking and anxiety and that kind of stuff. And on the other spectrum, we are understimulating the mind in that we are doing like mind numbing kind of activities where we just sort of, you know, tune out, not in the flow. That's different, a different kind of tuning out. This is just, you know, kind of escape. And I'm hearing that we need to take care of our minds. What are, just like with our eyes, what are we seeing? What are we taking in? What are we thinking about? When we're, I'm just asking for the right words, as we're taking in, okay, I get it. As we're taking in information, just like with the eyes, as we're taking in information, what is it making us think about? Is it making us think about things that are hopeful, about differences we can make, about growth, about evolution, about, you know, is that the things that we're taking in, is that what we're thinking about? Or is it having the opposite effect? We're feeling hopeless, we're feeling discouraged, we're feeling a lack of confidence, we're feeling, you know, what are we, the things that we're taking in, what are they making us think about? Now, there is a certain degree of needing to know what's going on in the world and educating ourselves. But what I'm hearing is that there's a balance. If you've been taking in a lot of things that create that lower vibrational energy, that lack of hope, that frustration, that sadness, that anxiety, that depression, then you need to balance it out by exercising your mind in things that are hopeful, are stimulating, are encouraging, are empowering, and what types of things that might be. What I'm hearing, and we've talked about this before, that anything that puts you in a creative state, anything that allows you to be creative, is going to be stimulating the mind in a positive way. So when you are creating something new, when you are making something, whether it's cooking or painting or, you know, even exercise, working on your body, you're recreating your body, your structure. Anytime you're in a creative mode, you are stimulating the brain. And so what I'm hearing is there needs to be a balance. If you have been engrossed in, I know there's a lot of really icky things going on in the world, in the news that we're hearing about. And if we get engrossed in that, it's really important that you balance that out for your mind, with those creative things, with those things that stimulate, with those things that elevate, with those things that make you rise and elevate your vibration as opposed to sink. There has to be a balance. If you're here all the time, there's got to be a balance. If you're here all the time, there might need some awareness that needs to happen. I'm not exactly sure. The other part is the body. Just like, and the body is a little bit more straightforward that way, because if we are not using our body in healthy ways, let's say, you know, we're not getting any exercise, we're not eating healthy foods, or we're not drinking enough water, or whatever this is. This isn't about gaining weight, losing weight, that kind of thing. This is about physical body. We need to be moving in order to move our lymphatic system. That's what I'm hearing. We need to be moving in order to be moving our blood and whatnot to, you know, and that being sedentary for long periods of time sometimes are necessary if that's the kind of work we do. But it's important, again, to have that balance. Now, if we were overexerting ourselves and just constantly moving, we also need some rest. And so it's about this balance. So how we're balancing what our minds are taking in and thinking about and connecting to. We also need to be in balance in terms of what our bodies are doing. Overexertion requires some rest. Underexertion requires some activity. And there needs to be a healthy balance in terms of how we are using our bodies. And then spirit is the last one. And here is interesting because I'm getting an interesting message in terms of spirit. Wow, okay. Is that also needs to be in a balance. So I have this image in my mind that if I could meditate 24 hours a day and like be, this yogi zen that like, is constantly meditating, who knows the powers that I would bring. What I'm hearing, this is the wording I'm hearing, is that there are a select few that is the calling, and it's for their purpose of teaching and evolution to show it is possible. The vast majority of humans on this planet, on this earth at this moment in time, there needs to be a balance. And I know for myself, sometimes I'll get far into that kind of spiritual realm that sometimes I get a little frustrated with the day-to-day. And that's what I'm hearing, is it's about integrating our spiritual practice with our day-to-day living. They're not separate. And that's what I'm hearing. They're not separate. They have to be in a balance. We can't be like, oh, I'm here when I'm in my spiritual practice and I'm here when I'm in my day-to-day. There has to be a balance and a connection between the two. What I'm hearing is that lots of times as people have sort of these epiphanies and these connections to source, or these experiences, these unexplainable experiences, or these like blissful moments, we want to live in that space all the time, and we want to stay in that space all the time. We're not designed that way. We can maintain that space in a certain degree, but we also have to integrate it into our day-to-day so that they are integrated. It's interesting because I know I have struggled with this myself when I've had a particularly profound experience. I want to stay in that experience and I don't want to come back to the day-to-day mundane. But what's important is to create that balance between the two, so that you are integrating that spiritual side into the day-to-day, so that you are not so far here or so far here, that there creates a balance. I'm also hearing it's a bit of a spectrum where sometimes, when you've had an experience, how do you bring that into your day-to-day? I'm hearing too, I know you've all heard this story a million times, but when I was given this gift in a dream, the being that gave me the gift embraced me. Their head was here. And at that moment, I had complete understanding of everything. I had like infinite knowledge. But as the being moved away, I could feel that knowledge leaving me, and I wanted to hold on to it. And they said that you can't have all that knowledge in one time in this form, that it doesn't fit in this form, but you have access to infinite knowledge whenever you need it. So as sips, so rather than trying to drink from a fire hose, that would just damage you, you can take sips, you can take a glass of water, you can chug a pitcher of water if you need to, but you can take it in sips. And that's what I'm hearing, is that there's a balance between these profound spiritual insights and spiritual connections and whatnot, and your day-to-day. And that there are some people that have come to this earth, come to this planet, come to this time in order to be able to teach what's possible. And so their journey is that constant space. But the majority of people, our purpose, our balance is to actually create that balance between the two. So mind, body, and spirit in balance, being aware of what we're taking in, what we're looking at, having it in balance. All right. Next bit of messaging. Okay, this goes along in balance as well. And what I got was like a teeter-totter. And a teeter-totter is a toy that has to balance. You put weight on this side, it goes up. You put weight on that side, it goes up. And ideally, you've got two equal weight and it moves together. What I'm hearing, this has to do with social interactions and our own connection to others. And what I'm hearing is that needs to be in a balance. We all know ourselves. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, but there needs to be a balance. We all need human connection. Now, what I'm hearing is it's not just about belonging. It's not just about feeling a sense of that belonging. What it has to do with, I'm hearing, is energetics. That actual, when you interact with someone, there is an exchange of energy. There's exchange of physical energy. And whether you're in person or not, I think in person there's probably more. But even here, I can feel all of you. I'm sure you can feel it too. But when you're interacting with someone else, there is an exchange of energy. And what I'm hearing is that exchange of energy creates a healthy balance. It creates an energetic balance. It's important for us to interact with others in order to create that healthy balance. It's also important that we take time to integrate, is the words that I'm hearing, that we take time by ourselves to integrate all of the energy, information, learning, whatever's going on, and we take that time to integrate. That it's important that we take some time to ourselves. Now, depending upon who you are, I know for myself, sometimes when I have those quiet moments, I love them and I'm just like, oh, I'm by myself and this is blissful. Other times I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to fill the space. I should call somebody. I should do something, and I have trouble just settling into that space. And maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you have to be motivated to interact with other people because that is not your jam. What I'm hearing is that there is also a balance in that as human beings, we require it. What I'm hearing is it's almost like plugging in a battery. It's like, it's funny because as I say that, I find being around a lot of people exhausts my social battery. And I'm hearing it's not your social battery, it's your energetic battery. That we do need to have positive human connection in order to charge an aspect of our energetic battery. It's not our social battery. That's a very different thing, is what I'm hearing. And so we need to basically have our energy mix with other energy to create a new synergy, is the word that I'm hearing. I'd like to unpack that a little bit. So our energy mixes with someone else's energy and creates a synergy. And that we need that we need that. And there needs to be a balance. And so take a look at yourself and your practices. Are you someone that tends to isolate? Do you need to try and have some, positive human interaction? And it might be as simple as a smile at the grocery store. It might be something as simple as, going for a walk and saying hello to people passing by. Maybe that's all the connection that's needed. But I'm hearing that your energy and others, the energy of others, does need to mix in order to create synergy. My definition of synergy is not totally fitting with those words. So if anyone has any insight as to what that might exactly, synergy for me means something a little bit different, but that's what I'm hearing. That our energy and someone else's energy has to connect in order to create a synergy. And the opposite. If you're somebody that's constantly filling those spaces with other people, it's really important that you take some time to decompress from that energy, to integrate what it is you need to integrate and release what it is you don't. So it's all about a balance. What we look at, what we're taking in, our minds, our bodies, our spirits, and also our social interaction. To sum it all up, it's all about a balance. I'm just going to read what Alicia wrote here. So, true, Nancy, when we experience something bigger and better, we sometimes want to live that constantly. Yes, I find that is my problem with my near-death experience. The cosmos, ethereal realm was so beautiful. I've heard that lots of people that have had near-death experiences almost become obsessed with getting back there, because it was so beautiful. I often spend a lot of time there because I prefer that than this dense 3D reality. 100% beautiful message to remind me that it's important to ground in our experiences and live them here as beautiful as the spiritual experience may be. 100%. I agree. And I have heard that people have had that experience. For me, it was the one that makes me kind of crave it. Was I had done a meditation, a Vipassana weekend, so it was a silent retreat weekend, and we were meditating, sitting meditation, lying meditation, walking meditation, like it was meditation all weekend. And on the last day, we were out doing a walking meditation, and I felt this like bliss just bubble up inside me. It was like, and I started giggling, and I'm supposed to be silent because we're out walking in the gardens and we're all silently meditating. But it was like this bliss that was just like bubbling up from somewhere deep inside me. And I just wanted to giggle. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to it just felt so beautiful. And then everything became so crystal clear. I was looking at the bark of a tree, and it's like I saw every single line, every single detail. And it was absolutely incredible. If I'm honest, it was kind of like when I did mushrooms in my 20s, but it was this like absolutely incredible experience. And when I talked to the teacher at the end, they said that was called a bliss experience, and something that people work hard to attain. And so I was so grateful that I had that experience. But then for a long time afterwards, I stopped wanting to meditate because it didn't have that same experience, and it was so mundane, and it was like focusing on, okay, just focus on my breath, and it kind of became like work because I wanted that blissful experience, to the point that I kind of stopped meditating for quite a while because it couldn't equal that experience. Eventually I found my way back, and I've never had that experience again. But I have to integrate that I had that experience and it was beautiful. And that's the motivation to continue meditating, because even if I meditate for 10 minutes, I am altering my brain chemistry. I'm altering my body. I'm altering, my mind, body, and spirit, even for that little bit, even if I didn't get the bliss experience again, right? So it's about everything in a balance. And I just saw Melinda said, I just copied that for synergy definition. I believe that synergy is a good word for what you're describing. The interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. That's exactly it. Okay. I didn't really understand. I wasn't 100% clear what synergy meant in this context, but that's exactly it. Your energy, someone else's energy needs to connect in order to create a synergy, which is the combined effect greater than the sum of the separate experiences. So as we have those interactions, as we have those connections, it creates a synergy, elevating us into higher vibrational energy. Lovely. All right. I'm going to stop this video.